Good day, everyone, and welcome back after our short break. If you can all hear us and now you're refreshed, we can get to the second part of our today's meeting, to the roundtable discussion on the experiences of TTOs in respect of current challenges, on best practices and opportunities of international patenting and the PCT system. Now, I would like to give the word to Mr. Thierry Debled, who is the Director of International Section of the Center for International Intellectual Property Studies, and who will be the moderator of our today's panel. Good day and welcome.
Thank you very much. I'm very happy and honored to have been invited to participate to this event. PCT is indeed a very important tool, a very agile and versatile tool, as correctly presented and very well introduced by Zsolt and Thierry. We have learned that the PCT can help the applicant to obtain with a single application patent protection in 156 different countries. What is also very important is the deferral of the cost that you can achieve with the PCT procedure. And also extremely interesting, that's an early assessment about the patentability, and not only a passive assessment, but if you play the game and you follow the international preliminary examination procedure, you can also have the beginning of a dialogue with the international preliminary examination authorities, so that it is very favorable for the applicant to know from the beginning whether he has a chance to obtain patent protection. Now we will compare this information with the practice of the technology transfer offices of the different countries of the Visegrad organization. And the first question that I would like to ask to the panelists is the following. In general, these patent applications are filed when the invention is made and when there is an interest, of course, that has been identified by the different universities or technology transfer offices for having protection for the invention. But sometimes at that moment, the TTO or the university do not have yet a clear or final view on who shall be the partner to exploit the invention. That can be a big corporation, that can be a small or medium enterprise, that could be the creation of a spin-off. And all these entities have very different business models and do not necessarily have the same needs with respect to their intellectual property. It can be relatively difficult to draft a patent application able to cover all these different needs. The approach one size fits all is rarely relevant in the IP world. And so I would like to ask the four panelists whether they have developed strategies to cope with this kind of situation. And maybe I can start with Krystian Gurba, who is the first on my screen, so that's the easiest way to proceed. So Krystian, you have the floor.
Thank you very much, Thierry. And first of all, thank you very much to the organizers for making possible this interesting event. And answering your question, I'm afraid I will disappoint you a bit, because I don't think we have a solution for that, at least a perfect solution, and I doubt there is a perfect solution, because well, of course you're right. Sometimes it would be best to wait with patenting and to discuss with the business partner about the details of the patent application and about the patent strategy. And sometimes actually when we talk with business partners, we get feedback from them that it's a pity that you didn't wait with patent application. It would be better if we would make a patent application maybe later. But of course there is this this contrary situation between interests of the companies and of the researchers, because it's in the interest of the companies sometimes to participate in drafting this patent application and maybe to make it a bit later. But on the other hand, the researchers want to publish an article, and to do that, they have to. We have to help them to file a patent application. In that context, the issue that was mentioned before by Laura about this discussion on grace period in European Patent Office seems a very interesting development, and we will see how it will be in the future, because it may be some help. But what we do in practice, so we have at our university, at the Jagiellonian University, in my TTO, we have so-called technology brokers. Those are 8 people with some scientific background also in each area. And as soon as a researcher discloses the invention to us, we don't immediately contact this researcher with the patent attorney. We have outsourced patent attorneys, but instead this broker enters a discussion with this with the creators of this invention, and using also some databases, they analyze what would be the best patent strategy and what would be a potential application of this invention, and who can be potential business partner, or maybe if those creators, those inventors would like to start a spin-out company. And based on that, the decision on the content of the patent application and on patent strategy are taken. So if I would think about the perfect situation, that would be a situation where just from the start of the research, we already have got a business partner. So that's the case with some joint research projects. So maybe that's a recommendation and request for governmental representatives, if there are any here, to give this opportunity to the universities to finance joint research projects in which from the beginning we have a business partner, we have a company that would implement the results, and we can jointly come up with the strategy.
Okay, thank you very much, Krystian. Miroslav, would you like to add something or to comment for the point of view of your university?
Yes, I can try. Hello to everybody. Afternoon. So soon afternoon. We are in some specific position. We are not a technology transfer office located on academic institution or at the university. We play a role of something like national technology transfer office. And our main goal is to support realization of technology transfer on local TTOs on universities. So by in commercialization process, we are not the owners of intellectual property, and we are not the decision makers in the process. It is finally always on the university how he decides the technology to transfer, and we can only go some advices or our point of view. But our support is in the frame of providing expertises. So we motivate the universities to make some market analysis if they have technology, and from this, or we make it for them for free. It's our service for them. And from such analysis, we can see what is the potential of the technology, where can it be placed like a market product. And then we are looking for such a chain from product to producer or manufacturer. And when we identify a manufacturer, we can better decide in which countries should we apply or fill the patent application. I believe that this is quite similar on a lot of universities or academic institutions. And this is the strategy what we are able to do, because in the time when academic institution makes some invention, it is quite early stage to make any more sophisticated analysis. We mostly can only guess or look on Google or in our databases of contacts who could be our partner for commercialization, the business partner. But in the time of this strategy preparation, we are not with contact with the potential business partners. So it's only our guessing where should the application be filled, in which countries, in which markets. So it's this is our main strategy making in the question of strategy patent applications.
Okay, thank you very much. Zsolt, how do you proceed with in the Semmelweis University with this with respect to this question? So the question was, how are you sure, or how can you make, let's say, to ensure that at least the application will cover the needs of the future business partner?
In this case, I think we have to distinguish between invention disclosures. So the easiest way, as Krystian mentioned, is when the economic rights are shared between a university and other collaborating partners. And if the collaborating partner is an industrial partner, they have a clear vision regarding patent application, and they have thoughts about the distance from the market, the technology readiness level, and they know how much money do they need to develop the product and to enter the market. So this is the easiest way. In other case, when only university players are the holders of inventorship and economic rights, then the decision is much more complicated. So basically, in every case, we are cooperating with the business development unit of the Semmelweis University, which means our internal patent attorneys are checking the novelty and the inventive steps of the IP. So we have a clear vision whether there is a possibility of having a protection or not. And the business development unit is performing several searches. So they try to describe the target product profile, the economic health factor, the distance from the market, and several other things. And based on that, the University Innovation Board is the main entity who is deciding whether we go for PCT or not. But I would like to highlight that every PCT application is preceded by a national application through the Hungarian Intellectual Property Office, which means in 12 months, we have at least a written opinion about the patentability of the product. So all the factors must be incorporated. We need to look at future needs, the development plans, and also the possibilities whether it can be sold or commercialized in the future. So we put everything together, we have a business plan, and then we continue. But basically, there are several decision points. So the first one is really the international search report, and based on that, we decide whether we go further and try the commercialization process or not.
Okay, thank you very much. And the same question for Hana. How do you proceed at Charles University?
Hello, greetings to everyone from Prague, from the Czech Republic. I think something what my colleagues haven't mentioned yet is also the kind of scientific field or topic of the invention, because at Charles University we are quite a general one, but most of patent applications and PCT applications stream from our life science department. So it's mostly something usable for biotech field or pharma industry. And something what we've learned over the years is that if we've got an invention which might be applied and commercialized in the field of pharma, we have no internal capacities at the university to kind of develop it further because it's quite costly, quite risky. So this is one topic where we've got quite a clear strategy that we are searching for a big global partner as soon as we can. So basically, when we've got a disclosure, or even before, when we know we've got a research team working on something in this field, we get in touch with them pretty early and prepare the application together and focus very much on market analysis, searching for a partner alongside with development of the application. And basically we file it, we wait for the international search from our patent office, but at the same time we are looking for a partner and we try to license or even sell off the full rights to a commercial partner as soon as we can and try to negotiate the best conditions we can. So usually there are some milestones along the way. If the invention is successful, if it goes, so the like safety tests, etc., we can get some money and it can grow until the win-win situation at the end if we are part of developing a new drug on the market. But probably all of us know that it's quite a long way to go. We are speaking about 20-30 years at least, and millions of euros to be invested. So we have no means to do this. So this is quite a clear strategy for the pharma things. We go slightly lower for the biotech field, where we've got quite an interesting portfolio of even local companies, or let's say Central European companies. We could see during the COVID epidemic time that there are many SMEs or even like small spin-off startups dealing with some new technologies for testing, etc. So there is a much wider scope of kind of size and type of potential partners. But the strategy is more or less the same. As soon as we've got an idea there is something being developed, something might be useful, let's work together, have proper market analysis, some searches, and even though we know about the local partner, we tend to file a PCT or have a door open to go global in the end, because most of these technologies are kind of universal, not linked to the Czech Republic only. So we less and less file like Czech national patents. And for the other fields, we do not have so many inventions, to be honest. We are not a technical school, so we don't have too much of like hardcore technology engineering. And we've got a huge amount of social sciences, humanities, but to be honest, there is not so much to patent. So we work more with kind of protected know-how. If we've got something what could be commercialized or somehow applied into practice, into kind of service chain for companies, for example, etc. So we are not speaking about PCT at all in these cases. So in a brief from Prague, how we approach it.
Thank you very much for the four panelists. So if I try to synthesize the different approaches that have been presented, we can say that one of the approach which probably represent one of the best practice is to identify as soon as possible the business partner so that the patent application can be tailor-made for the needs of this business partner. Another strategy that was presented consists in developing in-house the knowledge of the strategies that will likely be applied, and that's the example of the pharmaceutical sector, the strategy that is going to be applied by the future business partner so that you can already start designing the patent application so that it will fit and match exactly the needs of this future business partner. Another very interesting approach that was suggestion that was made by Zsolt was the idea of filing first a national application, and then you have 12 months to adjust the application. You can still add so to a certain extent some further contents, and maybe you will have a chance to identify the business partner in these 12 months. So that's this is how I can summarize what has been said so far. So thank you very much. Maybe we can go to the second question. In fact, well, we have just mentioned the first national application or not, and the first application can be a European application or also directly a PCT. After the priority year, time is coming to extend the coverage and to file patent application abroad when needed. This can be done in multiple ways. We have already discussed the national applications, the regional application, or the international applications. Can the different TTOs explain the strategy they are applying to select the extension route? So either the national application, the regional application, or the international application. And sub-question for the regional application, are you, and it's a really fashionable question, are you going to use the unified patent? So maybe this time we can start with Miroslav.
Okay. I have to mention that we have in Slovakia a very similar process like Dr. Kohus said. It's quite common by Slovak universities, also in the first step applied on the national level with the patent application and get some time for looking for potential business partner. And this is also a strategy advised by us to universities or to academic institutions. And from this is everything is every other step dependent. We are some levels of our support. In the first steps, we provide free services by evaluation of the intellectual property, and if the basic evaluation is fulfilled, like we look for the novelty of the invention, the claims of inventors, if are set up, or the claims of owners, if there are more, if are set up, and if this all is okay, so we can give support in the expertise of patent attorney to the academic institution. They get free patent application preparation by patent attorney paid by us. It's the second step, but the application is meant to be apply or filled in a Slovak Bureau for Industrial Property. And this is the strategy for next 12 months. The university herself, or in cooperation with us, has the possibility to look for potential business partner. And if we succeed, or if the university succeeds, so we can make another step in our support, and it is PCT application. The cost of national Slovak patent application is mostly is the maximum 60 euro, and it can be lower for academic institution or for electronic application. And PCT is around 3,000 euro. So if we don't find any possibility how to get the technology in practice, so it is quite possible that this step will be not supported by us, the step of filling and paying for PCT application. And if there is some serious analysis or some outputs from such analysis, or if there is some negotiation with potential business partners, or if another such conditions are fulfilled, we can for the university also pay the PCT patent application by the strategy coming from the negotiations with business partners, or from the analysis, from the guessing what would business partner want. And the last possible step is to support by paying, and by paying the fees, and by paying the patent attorney in the national phase of PCT patent application. It is the last possible support step from us to universities. And this is possible only if the university already has some agreement with or contract with a business partner about this supported technology, or if there is at least some contract about future agreement. So I believe I answered your question in the best possible way.
Thank you very much. Zsolt, can you tell us how you proceed in Semmelweis University? So what are the criteria that you use to select the way you are going to extend the scope of protection to more countries?
Sure. So first of all, the Semmelweis University is a medical university. So we are handling inventions from drug market, biochemical solutions, and medical devices. But I have to mention that the Semmelweis University has gone through a fundamental change in 2021 August. So the maintainer since August last year is not a government, but a foundation. And we have the luck that the president of this foundation is the CEO of Jagiellonian, which is the biggest and most known pharmaceutical company in Hungary. So the Richter also went global. It means as soon as we obtain an invention disclosure form, we have regular meetings of the CEO and IP and business development expert of Jagiellonian. And every time we are going through the possibilities. So it means based on the market potential and thanks to the network of this company, we are able to decide whether we go for PCT or not. Usually we go for PCT. The question is not the PCT and not these 3,000 euros because there is a capital to encourage patent applications. The question is regarding the time following the international search report, whether we have to go for demand or not, and also whether we should start a national phases or not. So the foundation and the Jagiellonian and the industrial partners in the network are giving advice whether go further or not. But every invention is different, so where a lot of factors which can influence our decision. But basically, if the written opinion implemented report is positive following the national application, based on the advice of this Richter, we go for PCT application.
Okay, thank you very much. Hana, how is this implemented in Prague?
I think it might be a bit similar to what we've heard here. If in doubt, we've got a body called the Commercialization Board at the university with quite interesting membership. We've got the president of the Czech Patent Office, one of the members. We've got a former CEO of Zentiva, or used to have, he resigned recently, but people like this, people linked to both the patent world as well as businesses, so we can always ask them for some advice and use the informal network to kind of identify a partner or get some advice on the territories which might be interesting. We also, in some cases, rely quite a lot of links and knowledge of our research teams. For example, we've had quite an interesting research ongoing on kind of treatment of tuberculosis, and based on their links and statistics about the new antibiotic resistant streams. And they actually were the best source of the knowledge which countries are most affected and which countries have the facilities to potentially kind of produce new drugs and be the new customers of something which is being developed. So it's combination of all these different bits and pieces of knowledge streaming from our partners, from the Board of Commercialization, both from business world and public administration, and the research team. And we are using all this time to put all this information together to best target the patent protection in general. So I hope we are not wasting time and we are trying to gather as much information as we can. You're on mute, Thierry.
Excuse
We
me.
can't hear you.
Yeah, I just realized. Sorry about that. So the next question is for, well, not the next question. The next panelist is Krystian. How do you make this choice in the Jagiellonian University?
Well, so probably I won't be original. We largely follow the same route as previous speakers, as Zsolt said, as Hana said. We are also a similar kind of university to Charles University in Prague, also in terms of age. We are 15 years younger. So we are also not a technical university, and we've got quite strong life science and medical sector, medical areas. So again, in those areas, usually national patent protection in Poland is definitely not enough. And I'm sure that's the case for all our countries, although Poland is the biggest in terms of economy and size, but still our economy and our biotechnology and pharma sector is not big enough to absorb and to develop all those innovations coming from universities, especially that they are on the very early stage of development, very low technology readiness level. So a lot of time and a lot of money is needed to test it and to move it, to take it to the market. So for most of our life science, medical inventions, we have to move international. in order to have any chance of commercialization, of finding a partner. Even if it's a Polish company that would be a partner, that company would require us to have at least the PCT application. We usually start with our national patent office, but not always. Sometimes we start with PCT already, or sometimes even we go to European Patent Office for the European patents procedure. Especially in the cases where we have a joint invention together with some foreign partners, which is the case a couple of times each year, and especially if we have already a business partner that like to have this protection. And sometimes also it's also an important factor sometimes that in the research project that is conducted by our researchers, there is an indicator that we need international patent application, then we file a PCT application. But usually we start with Polish Patent Office, and we take this 12 months to analyze the invention, to show it to potential business partners, to get their feedback, and based on that, to know if it's worth to invest further in international protection. Yeah, so in our case, it's about 10. Last year it was 11 PCT applications, but to show you the bigger picture, because so that's our example. We are one of the biggest universities in Poland, and we've got quite a comfortable situation because we've got a patent budget secured by our rector, but it doesn't look so good when we take a broader picture of all the universities and institutes in Poland. We as a network of technology transfer offices in Poland, network called PACT, we recently conducted a sort of survey among universities and research institutes. And based on that survey, of course, it's not representative because we got answers from 40 institutions, but it shows something. On average, the institution has got about 40,000 euro of patent budget a year. So, and looking at the numbers of patent applications, the average is about 10 Polish patent applications and 1 PCT application. Of course, for some universities, it's 10 PCT applications, like for our universities, and for some of them 0. But you can see that there are huge differences. So still, there is a big problem of financing the patent protection, and still this benefits of PCT are not so much open to many universities and institutes. And maybe one remark, because you asked also about the unitary patent. We don't have a precise opinion about that. Well, Poland didn't join the system, so we can apply, we can file, we can use it, but the unitary patent won't have an automatic effect in Poland. Maybe in some cases we will use it. It will cost more than just to pick some selected European countries to patent. So probably not always we will use it, but in some cases maybe yes, because it would be quicker to get a protection and easier.
Okay, thank you very much. So if I can summarize, in most of the case, the best practice consists in filing a national application, and after 12 months, mainly PCT, it can be something different, but in most of the case that will be a PCT, and the factors, the parameters that are taken into account for making these decisions are the market potential of the products, clearly. It could also be a step-by-step process, and the result of each step will determine what will be the next step. Also, sometimes a panel of experts can be consulted. It can be in-house experts. It can be a panel of experts from the same institution, like university, or it can also be the experts from the potential business partner. But this is something extremely important. This panel of experts will make a recommendation according to the invention. Okay, thank you very much. So now we can arrive to the third question. As has already been said, one of the difficulty with the PCT, well, not with the PCT, but at the end of the procedure, one of the difficulty is the cost, linked to the cost for the translation, payment of the filing taxes, fees of the patent attorneys all over the world. With the PCT, that's extremely interesting because you can defer all these costs to a very late stage, 30 months from the first application date or 18 months from the PCT filing date, which is extremely interesting because that gives you some time to identify the business partner if it has not been identified from the beginning. So now the question is, how are the different TTOs using this extra time? What are you doing practically during this, let's say, 30 months from the first filing date? And this time, maybe we can start with Zsolt.
Yeah, so first of all, I think for the university, the fees of patenting are not challenging, and for one good reason. The National Research, Development and Innovation Office in Hungary is providing grants for patent applications. For example, for national ones, 1,500 euros, for PCT, 8,000 euros, and for national phases, 20,000 euros. So this is not a huge problem because we can invest, of course, to those processes, but usually those money or partially the money are coming back to the university. I think the most challenging thing is the development of the product. As I mentioned, we are a medical university. We have capital for intellectual property protection, but we don't have money for clinical trials to enter phases 2 or 3. It means we try to do our best, but those 18 months are for really finding really strictly an investor or a commercialization partner. So without that, we cannot progress. And there is a really bad thing at the end. Without funding, we have to decide whether we withdraw or from the register or we withdraw from the whole process, this patent application. And this could be sometimes really, really sad because we are the major contact points, not only for industrial partners and external partners, but also for our researchers. So as Hana said, yeah, it's really important in the initial phase to start to look for partners. And we have, from the beginning of the first application, let's say 30 months to find the best partner and to go for commercialization, because a university can have money or funding for national phases, or in worst case from PCT go for EU and to the United States and UK, but has no money for further development and to increase the technology readiness level. So this is a challenge.
Okay, thank you very much. Hana, what's the situation in the Charles University?
I believe not different from the situation which my colleagues are describing, but I think it's mostly about time, and the aim is to get as much time as you can in the process. So sometimes we even tend to delay the actual filing of the application and try to search for a partner even before and not to disclose anything, obviously, but if you count it from the end, and if we are speaking about the pharma industry, the companies are trying to buy as much time as they can for a product which is ready and being sold and generating money and being protected from their competition. And since all the clinical trials, everything takes long and is getting more and more complex because of the safety, security testing, it leaves you, if you actually sell the license and the relevant know-how to someone, I don't know, 30 months after filing an application, you lose these 30 months, which can be used for further industrial development or the clinical trials testing. And this is what the companies know. So basically every day after the application is filed, it means losing money for both the university and the company and losing time. So we are trying to speed this up as much as we can. And I think this is the current trend, and even the companies themselves try to speed it up as much as possible, but there is still, especially if we are speaking about drug development for humans, it's there are some safety regulations. So this is one thing which is quite specific to this field. On the other hand, for example, I think Dr. Kohus mentioned medical devices. We've got few inventions in this field as well, and this might be slightly different. When we've got the application filed, we try to gather as much kind of other intelligence around the potential product as we can. Sometimes we try to develop a prototype, get some kind of production testing and things, because then you can better and faster sell it to someone as the whole package. So it's not only about the IP itself, which is protected somehow. It can be PCT or some, I don't know, European patent potentially, or this kind of things. But alongside this, with this, we try to put together as much data and some technical background together, and then bundle it into a nice package. And again, the experience is that it's more interesting to commercial partners when it's more closer to the market, more kind of ready-made product to be sold than just an idea, even so protected IP.
Thank you very much.
Differs.
Krystian, what about the Jagiellonian University?
So we act parallelly. We take two parallel actions. On one hand, we do everything to find a business partner, and that's a role of technology brokers at our office. But on the other hand, in the same time, we focus very much on assisting researchers to develop the invention further, because usually this first patent application is on the conclusion of the research. So the scientists already don't have grant money to develop it further, and still it's on at too early stage to have a private money, to have, for example, venture capital interested in investing. So it's a kind of valley of death, and we try to help scientists by giving them some small grants, proof of concept grants. It's usually up to 20,000 euros for each project. And this money, of course, it's not enough for some technologies, but for some of them, it's enough to make a prototype, for example, or to commission some additional research, some additional analysis for some, maybe to make a project, an analysis of which research should be done in the future. So we do that both from outside money that we get from the ministry project, but also from our own internal funds. And it's something that works really well. Each year we've got over 20 research team that we finance with those grants. And we also organize from time to time events that we call demo days, during which we present the inventions and the teams to potential investors. We do it not only at our university, but with other universities in our city, in Krakow. And we hope to have such an event in March next year, face-to-face. So that's also an opportunity to find business partners.
Okay, thank you very much, Krystian. Very interesting. Miroslav, how do you practice in Slovakia?
Your microphone is turned off.
So again, it's quite hard now to add something because the processes are quite similar. So it's only one universal rule how to make technology transfer from academic institutions. Maybe some details. Although our support, what I mentioned before, is in the case of own research or inputs of own research of academic institution. In the case if institutions or universities have some partner on some level of the research, so we need to be more flexible, and our rules are placed different. It depends by the business partner. Also, one of our goals is to make the responsibility for application to this business partner to avoid paying from the public fund or from the public money for the patent applications, mostly for PCTs. Another what was mentioned or what wasn't is one condition what we consider very strongly by decision making about support, about providing our support, is something what we call competitive advanced or advantage, competitive advantage of the technology. If the inventors aren't able to define this competitive advantage of the technology in comparison with technology already on market, so it is not very common that they will get some support of us or some advice to fulfill a patent application. So this is quite important information coming from the evaluation of the technology for us. And similar as Mr. Gurba said, also we are trying to organize events. First, we tried to present on these events the inventions, the technologies in some level of patent protection. But then we realized that it is maybe more interested for the potential business partners to know the abilities, the competencies in the universities departments, in some research, in some areas of science. I don't know if you understand me. For us it comes more reasonable to present the scientific departments and their successes or their possibilities in some research areas, like the potential for future cooperation with the business partners. Business partners weren't very interested in the outputs of own research of academic institutions. We can see that the research, when it is made only, when it is based only on the interest of universities, isn't always, the outputs are not so interested for business partners like the research is interested for the academic institution. So on those events, what we organized, we try to present the competence, the ability to make research in some area to be on the hand for a business partner. So for me.
Okay, thank you very much, Miroslav. So if I can summarize, and I have to admit that I was a bit surprised. I was expecting that the whole panelists would take the advantage of this period to improve, to develop the intellectual property. Not at all. And actually it makes a lot of sense. The good practice apparently consists more in identifying a partner if it has not been done earlier, but even before that, it's to create a bundle, a nice package with further developing the product, creating a prototype, providing more data, and all this makes the package more attractive. So you are not only selling IP, you are selling IP plus a, let's say, more advanced, more developed product. And apparently that is the best practice in this field. Okay, so I would like to thank the 4 panelists for the very high quality of their intervention. And I think that it is time to give back the floor to Joanna for the closing remark, if I have understood correctly. Thank you very much.